What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything you need to know about the new Fortnite update. This is going to be the first major update of Chapter 4 Season 3, and we actually got a solid amount of content. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like some more, and comment down below what your favorite thing is about this update. So the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be the things that we already knew going in, and that is going to be that shockwaves are finally added in zero build, so you will now be able to get this mobility item in zero build only. It's not in build mode, but in zero build, you'll be able to get the shockwave grenades. You can carry up to 6, and this makes it just much easier to push players, get high ground, like travel around the map in a desperate situation. It's not as ideal to like just use it to travel around the map as something like the katana or the shockwave hammer because it's not infinite, but it's still very nice in a pinch. And if you're in one of those end games where it like goes up a mountain or like a steep cliff or like one of those just weird spots to play, shockwaves are going to make those types of situations much more playable. I think zero build is going to be a lot more fun after today's update with the introduction of shockwave grenades. Ranked mode also got a rank reset in today's update, so the ranks, you should go down a few ranks, but it is going to be based on your performance in the previous rank. So I got Unreal. It would be unlikely if I dropped down to like gold 3 or something like that. Like I'm probably going to be somewhere like diamond, champion, master, something like that, or even just Unreal. I have seen players that were in Unreal just get re-ranked in Unreal. So ranked mode reset, your progress on the ranked quests will continue. So if you had 30 ranked quests done, you'll still have 30 ranked quests done. It's just that the ranks reset a little bit. The mythic MK and cloak ability can be found by eliminating the relic boss in the Rumble Ruins. There's also a base version of these invisibility gauntlets which can drop as floor loot and chest loot. The mythic one just lasts longer with like a shorter cooldown. You can still see the person when they aren't like totally invisible, especially if they're moving around. You can kind of see like the dust they kick up behind them. And if you're using a thermal weapon or like a thermal fish, you can easily see somebody with the cloaking gauntlets, and it doesn't really last that long. Like it sounds busted. Everyone thinks like, oh, invisibility, this is going to be completely broken, but I don't think it's actually going to be that busted from what I've seen. A lot of people are saying it just isn't very good at all, and it does have a pretty long cooldown. The base version has a 30-second cooldown, and the mythic one has a 20-second cooldown, and you can't shoot your guns or even hold out another item while invisible. You can't even build and edit, so it's like you're very limited on what you can do. There's definitely going to be some plays that you can make with this item for sure, and some, you know, interesting moments that come about as a result of it, but I don't think it's just going to be the end-all be-all, like best thing in the game. I think this is going to be more of like a niche item. And as far as the mythic MK alpha goes, here are the stats in comparison to the gold one. You can see that the mythic does a little bit more damage, has a little bit faster reload, has a little bit less recoil, but it's not really that big of a deal. Importantly, the fire rate remains the same, whereas in Chapter 3 Season 1, when you got the Foundations mythic MK, it had better damage, better reload speed, and a higher fire rate. So when you change both the damage and the fire rate of a weapon, it gets pretty ridiculous. But since only the damage was changed by like 2 on this mythic MK, I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal. Like, it'll certainly be nice to have for sure, but it's not going to be something that's like, okay, yeah, you have to go for this, and then you just have like the best gun in the game. It'll be nice to have, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a game changer. The flare gun was unvaulted in both builds and zero builds, and now if you're covered in mud, you will not be marked by this item. I'm sure a lot of you understand how the flare gun works because it was in the game in Chapter 3, it was kind of in the game last season with an augment, but you just shoot it up in the air, it'll mark people in a radius around it, and it is pretty solid. One of my favorite things to do in zero build when this was last in the game was I wouldn't really carry it for public matches. It's really good and competitive, but for public matches I didn't really care to carry it that often. But it was nice if you came across it to just shoot a few shots off with it and mark kind of the area around you real quick. So if you're ever like kind of traveling or looting and you find this weapon, if you don't want to carry it, you might as well use some shots of it and see what you can see. And it does kind of help those really slow, stagnant games. I'm sure we've all had those games where, like, you know, there's like 3 or 4 people remaining and like not a large zone, but a large enough zone to where no one's fighting at all. And it's just really a waiting game at that point. You just kind of have to wait for zone to force these people to play the game, and then you can clean up. The flare gun will be really nice in situations like that, and you can shoot it on the ground to light things on fire, but usually the marking ability of it is what's like kind of most sought after. This will be really nice in the jungle. I think the jungle is like really overgrown and lush and like dense, and it could be inconvenient to fight people there, but if you have this, it's going to be much easier to find people hiding in trees or bushes, or even just in general. There's a lot of plants and stuff going on there that make it kind of easy for somebody to get lost. The Tracker's Armory augment was also unvaulted. This is the augment that gives you the flare gun and the Shadow Tracker. And if you guys didn't know, I made a video on this earlier in the season. The Shadow Tracker pistol is now fully automatic, so it got buffed. It's very good. It's always been good, but now it's even better because it is fully automatic, and it's a lot of fun to use. There's also 2 new augments added today. Mud Warrior will heal you up to 150 if you're covered in mud. So just like Bush Warrior or Aquatic Warrior, if you're in mud or covered in mud, you will get healed from this augment. So that'll be definitely really nice to have, especially if you're in the jungle. Like the mud effect is already just really nice to have so you can go faster. But now having this, it'll heal you as well. It's not like it's going to be a game changer all the time, but there's definitely situations where that'll be nice to have. And an SMG extended mag augment, which will increase your mag size on SMGs. Not a super big deal, but again, nice to have. I'm not really sure how much use this will get because a lot of people have just kind of preferred the flapjack rifle as a spray weapon this season. But it's still, you know, if you're using the SMGs, this would be an augment that would be nice to have for sure. And these augments will be immediately obtainable. In the past, you had to unlock new augments by randomly getting them, and you couldn't get them from re-rolling until you at some point randomly got it on your initial roll. And it just really made no sense at all. And in the patch notes for this update, Epic kind of said they're doing away with that. And from now on, when new augments come into the game, they should just automatically be in the augment pool, and you should be able to get them from re-rolling even if you haven't already discovered them. I think this is a much better change. I never understood like the discovery thing because you didn't really have to do anything to get it. Like it would be different if there was like a challenge that would come out, and then if you did that challenge, you got the augment. But unlocking them was just randomly getting it from your initial augment roll, and it was not an enjoyable thing to deal with. If you wanted to try to get one of the new augments, you were really just like hoping eventually the game gave it to you, and you only had 4 chances a game. So I think just having them in the augment pool as soon as they come out is a much better solution, and hopefully it'll make the game less irritating when new augments come to the game. I've seen so many comments of players like unhappy with how that system works and unhappy that they can't get a specific augment. And like I said, that is how it should work. They said that these should be in the loot pool and you could just get them from re-rolling. Not everything in Fortnite works immediately, so it might be bugged at launch and you might not be able to get it from re-rolling. But either way, their intention is for players to be able to get this augment or get the new augments easily by re-rolling, and you don't need to unlock it. So that is going to be it for today's update. We got shockwaves in 0 build, ranked reset, flare gun in both modes, the cloak ability in both modes. You can get it from ground loot, chest loot, and there's a mythic version and a mythic MK alpha that you can get from the relic boss in Rumble Ruins. And then we got 2 new augments as well, Mud Warrior SMG extended mag, and then the Tracker's Armory augment was unvaulted in today's update. So let me know what you guys think of this update down in the comments below. I am super excited to be able to play with shockwaves again. I think it's going to make 0 build so much more fun. I feel like you're going to be able to get pressure on people and then get that elimination and not just be in really stagnant fights for as long of a period of time, and I think that's going to make the game more fun and more playable if you are somebody that's aggressive. But if you guys found this helpful, informative, give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.